nicely for us. The event has started to record. Over to you, Amarendra Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear Divyanam Prabhu, for kindly, very devotionally, very affectionately inviting me on this forum. My obeisances to all the wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who have been an integral part of this campaign. My obeisances to everyone who's part of the School of Bhakti, to everyone who's part of the Bhaktivedanta Manor, to everyone who's participating here, and also to everyone who's not participating here. My obeisances to each one of you for kindly being an integral part of the Sankirtan mission of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Divyanam Prabhu is being very kind in speaking very encouraging words. I see that as an expectation from his side. That is what I should try to meet. I am not there at this moment. And I pray and hope I never get there so that I continue to always hanker to be there. I feel very, very grateful, very fortunate to be included in this campaign of reading, living, and distributing Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is part of the monthly Sankirtan festival, under the auspices, under the super excellent leadership of His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu. His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu is the powerhouse of Shastric study, Shastric living, Shastric reading, and Shastric distribution. All three: reading, living, and distribution. And I feel very, very happy to be a small, insignificant sparrow in this Ramayana mission of His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu. Vaisheshika Prabhu is like the most empowered Hanumanji, who's helping all of us cross over the ocean of birth and death. And I feel very happy to be a small sparrow, to take few grains of sand and pushing it into the ocean as the best that I can. Thank you all for kindly participating and kindly joining in this event. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarane Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So before we begin, I would like to screen share and sing one Vaishnav bhajan very quickly on the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which will kind of set the mood of what we can expect to receive from Sri Gauranga and what we should offer Sri Gauranga. And after singing that Vaishnav bhajan, we will get into the discussion for an hour or so, and then we can open the floor for about 10-15 minutes of questions and answers. So all inclusive, in 90 minutes, we can try to wrap up. So Divyanam Prabhu, is the screen share seen?
Yes, Prabhu, it can be seen.
Okay, wonderful. So this is a very beautiful song by Narottam Das Thakur, and the meaning of the song is also very beautiful. Anyone who has accepted the two lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can truly understand the true essence of devotional service. If one is captivated by the pleasing pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, the dirty things in his heart will all become cleansed. One who simply takes the holy name of Gaur Sundar, Sri Chaitanya, Krishna Chaitanya, will immediately develop love of Godhead. To such a person, I say, bravo, very nice, excellent. If one appreciates the merciful pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and feels ecstasy and sometimes cries, this process will immediately help him to understand the eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Simply by understanding that the associates of Lord Gauranga are eternally free from material contamination, one can immediately be promoted to the transcendental abode of Lord Krishna. If one simply understands that the land of Navadvip is not different from Vrindavan, then he actually lives in Vrindavan. If one says, let me dive deep into the waves of nectarian ocean of transcendental loving movement introduced by Lord Chaitanya, he immediately becomes one of the confidential devotees of Radha and Krishna. It does not matter whether one is a householder living at home or a vanaprastha or sannyasi living in the forest. If he chants, "Oh Gauranga," and becomes a devotee of Lord Chaitanya, then Narottam Das begs to have his association. So this whole song can be studied at our will whenever we have time to understand what this Gaur Bhakti is all about. Very beautiful song. গৌরাঙ্গের দুটি পদ যার ধন সম্পদ গৌরাঙ্গের দুটি পদ যার ধন সম্পদ সেই জানে ভকতি রস সার সেই জানে ভকতি রস সার হয় রে সেই জানে ভকতি রস সার গৌরাঙ্গের মধুর লীলা যার কর্ণে প্রবেশিলা গৌরাঙ্গের মধুর লীলা যার কর্ণে প্রবেশিলা হৃদয় নির্মল ভেল তার হৃদয় নির্মল ভেল তার হয় রে হৃদয় নির্মল ভেল তার যে গৌরাঙ্গের নাম লয় তার হয় প্রেমোদয় যে গৌরাঙ্গের নাম লয় তার হয় প্রেমোদয় তারে মুই যায় বলে হারি তারে মুই যায় বলিহারি গৌরাঙ্গ গুণেতে ঝুরে নিত্য লীলা তারে স্ফুরে গৌরাঙ্গের গুণেতে ঝুরে নিত্য লীলা তারে স্ফুরে সেই জন ভকতি অধিকারী সেই জন ভকতি অধিকারী গৌরাঙ্গের সঙ্গী গণে নিত্য সিদ্ধ করিমানে গৌরাঙ্গের সঙ্গী গণে নিত্য সিদ্ধ করিমানে সেই যায় ব্রজেন্দ্র সুত পার সেই যায় ব্রজেন্দ্র সুত পার শ্রী গৌড় মণ্ডল ভূমি যে বা জানে চিন্তামণি শ্রী গৌড় মণ্ডল ভূমি যে বা জানে চিন্তামণি তারা হয় ব্রজ ভূমে বাস তারা হয় হয় ব্রজ ভূমে বাস, হয় রে তার হয় ব্রজ ভূমে বাস। গৌর প্রেম রসার্ণবে, সে তরঙ্গে যে ডুবে। গৌর প্রেম রসার্ণবে, সে তরঙ্গে যে ডুবে। সে রাধা মাধব অন্তরঙ্গ, সেই রাধা মাধব অন্তরঙ্গ, সেই রাধা মাধব অন্তরঙ্গ, হই রে সেই রাধা মাধব অন্তরঙ্গ। গৃহে বাবনেতে তাকে হা গৌরাঙ্গ বলে ডাকে, গৃহে বাবনেতে থাকে হা গৌরাঙ্গ বলে ডাকে। নরতম মাগে তার সঙ্গ, নরতম মাগে তার সঙ্গ। ও গৌরাঙ্গের দুটি পদ যার ধন সম্পদ, গৌরাঙ্গের দুটি পদ যার ধন সম্পদ, সে জানে ভক্তি রস সার। গৌরাঙ্গের মধুর লীলা যার কর্ণে প্রবেশিলা, গৌরাঙ্গের মধুর লীলা যার কর্ণে প্রবেশিলা, হৃদয় নির্মল ভেল তার, হৃদয় নির্মল ভেল তার। হরি বল হরি বল, গৌর হরি বল, গৌর হরি বল, নিতাই গৌর হরি বল, গৌর হরি বল, হরি বল, গৌর হরি বল। জয় রাধা মাধব রাধা মাধব রাধে, জয় জয় সচিনন্দন জয় গৌর হরি, বিষ্ণু প্রিয় প্রাণধন নদিয়া বিহারী। প্রভুপাদ প্রভুপাদ প্রভুপাদ, জয় প্রভুপাদ, জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ প্রভুপাদ প্রভুপাদ, জয় প্রভুপাদ। নিতাই গৌর হরি বল, হরি বল, গৌর হরি বল, হরি বল। নিতাই গৌর প্রেমানন্দে, নিতাই গৌর প্রেমানন্দে, নিতাই গৌর প্রেমানন্দে, হরি 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 बोल। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय, श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। जय रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ, श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गौड़ीय गुरुवर्ग की जय। इस्कॉन गुरु वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna. So this was a very, very beautiful song by Srila Narottam Das Thakur, glorifying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most prominent Acharya Tattva in our Sampradaya, none different from Sri Krishna, but appearing in this world in the mood of a devotee. It has been described very wonderfully by all of our Acharyas, the merciful nature of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A great Acharya by the name Kavi Karnapur has written in his book called as Chaitanya Chandroday Natak. He has written a very beautiful verse describing the mercy factor of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In fact, this verse is very deep and very profound, and it will probably take many, many hours to deliberate on the meaning of the verse. But it is sufficient to say at this point that we can just hear the sound of this verse, because you can see a specific word repeat again and again and again and again in wonderful Sanskrit poetic embellishment to show how merciful Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. So let us chant and hear this verse. I will chant the verse. You please kindly hear, and please note what is the most commonly uttered verse in poetic embellishing repetition as a figure of speech in Sanskrit. Please note what is that word. It translates as mercy in English. Helu dhunita khe daya vishadaya pronmila damodaya samyak shastra vivadaya rasadaya chittarpitonmadaya shashwat bhakti vinodaya samadaya madhurya maryadaya Shri Chaitanya daya nidhe tava daya bhuyat amandodaya. So it's a very, very beautiful verse. And every time the word daya has been used, it means something else. It doesn't mean mercy. He luddhonita khe daya, visha daya, amo daya, samyak shastra vivadaya, rasa daya, chittarpiton madaya. So every time it's used, it's a different meaning. But when we just focus on the sound of the repetitive, the repeated word, the word is daya. And in Sanskrit, the word daya means mercy, compassion, magnanimity. And finally, he says, Sri Chaitanya, daya nidhe. Oh Mahaprabhu, you are the ocean of mercy. Because Sri Ramachandra came in this world and he delivered the whole of Ayodhya. Sri Krishna Chandra came in this world and he delivered the whole world. But look at me. I am still present in this dark age of Kali Yuga. So Ramachandra came, Sri Krishna came, but they didn't touch the age of Kali Yuga. They uplifted their own territories and Treta Yuga and Dwapar Yuga. But what about me? But Mahaprabhu, you are so kind. You are non-different from Radha and Krishna. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. And most importantly, you are appearing in this dark age of Kali Yuga only to uplift my consciousness. And you're so merciful. You're so kind and so merciful that those who are completely drowning in lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, jealousy, who are atheistic, who are impersonalist, who are completely antagonistic, and who have nothing to do with God, you are coming and giving them pure love of Godhead in the realm of Vrindavan. Whether they want it or they don't want it, you are ready to award them and bestow them that great gift of the rope of love by which you can bind Radha and Krishna in the courtyard of one's heart. No incarnation has ever given love of Godhead. That Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to offer. Therefore, daya, 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 daya. You are very kind. You are supremely kind. Very, very kind. This is why our Rupa Goswami Pad composed the famous pranam mantra for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we chant every day. We chant every day. The fact that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most kind and he is the most magnanimous. And the verse goes as, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvise Namaha. Rupa Goswami Pad composed this. And what does it mean? It also means the same thing, that you are the most kind incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Namo. Namo means I bow down. Mahavadanyaya. Vadanya means magnanimity. Mahavadanya means supremely magnanimous, wonderfully magnanimous, wonderfully kind, compassionate, and merciful. Why? Why is he kind and merciful? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has explained that in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu daya karahe vichar, vichar kaile chitte pave tumi chamatkar. This is in Bengali coming from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, if you just sit in seclusion and close your eyes and think about how merciful Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, then there'll be only one emotion that will come in the heart, and that is chamatkar, astonishment. How wonderful. Tumi chitte pave chamatkar. You will find in your heart chamatkar. You will see how surprising it is that somebody could be that kind. Why? Why is that something astonishing? What is that something very special in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Well, previously in another discussion recently, we were discussing that when someone has a broken arm or a broken leg, we go to the doctor and you pay him money, then he does what it needs to be done in the form of fixing, or let's say a surgery, and he puts our hand and our feet back together. So wherever there's a broken arm, or there's a broken collarbone, or there's a disjoint in the body, so then he works through it. But of course, he takes a pay for that. And still, we are very grateful to the doctor who does it. He said, oh, thank you so much. It's because of you that I'm able to walk now. It's because of you that I'm able to lift briefcases. It's because of you that I'm able to even do push-ups. I'm getting all of these strength. Thank you so much. I had a broken arm. I had a broken leg. So thank you so much. So someone who takes money and still does it, we are still grateful to that person. Free of cost. They are fixing our hand, broken arm and broken leg free of cost and not expecting anything from us. Oh, we will be so grateful to that person because he's doing it selflessly. But still, there is no guarantee that if we have a broken arm today and if it's fixed, there's no guarantee that we won't break it again, right? So you can have a broken leg, and if it's fixed and then we break it again, so then we come back to the same original situation. But imagine if there's someone who can fix our broken leg in such a way that it'll never break again. And he does it free of cost, without expecting anything from us. Oh, how kind is that? So you're basically fixing a broken leg in my body without expecting a pay, and you're fixing it in such a way that it'll never break again. Oh, what can I do for you? You're so kind to me. And now imagine if there is someone who can fix the feet, the leg for us, but he can fix our toothache. He can fix our stomach problem. We are still grateful because he fixed our feet at least, or our leg problem. But imagine if there is a doctor who can do a root canal also, and he can do an endoscopy also, and he can also do the surgeries also, and he can do an open heart also. He can fix all the problems in our body head to toe, free of cost, in such a way that none of those will ever need any repair again, once and for all. And he doesn't expect anything from us. Imagine he's ready to fix everything. He's ready to give in a hearing aid. He's ready to remove the cataract. He's ready to, get everything, all the problems that we have in our body. He's ready to treat all of that free of cost in such a way that that organ or that part of our body will never fail again. Imagine how grateful we will be to that person. Now, more so, if you take this logic even further, he can do all of that and we are grateful to that person, but he can do that only till the point of death. After death, when we take a new body, then again, our stomach problems and our headaches and our toothache will continue. So now we'll take this discussion even further. Imagine if there's a doctor who can fix our stomach problem, our toothache, our headache, hands and legs. He fixes all of that in such a way that it will never fail again. Not in this life and not in any other life. Imagine how grateful we will be to that doctor who doesn't charge anything, doesn't expect anything, and is ready to do this only out of affection and love. How great is that doctor, and how grateful we will be to that doctor. Taking this logic even further, imagine if there is a doctor who treats the problem of repeated birth and death. He says, I will pull you out of the cycle of birth and death in such a way that never again will you enter another mother's womb and suffer birth, old age, disease, death, suffering caused by the mind, suffering caused by others, suffering caused by natural calamity. You will never struggle from hunger, thirst, and sleep, and anger, and lust, and greed, and pride, and envy, and jealousy, and none of these things, and illusion and madness. Imagine a doctor who can treat all of that. Because the doctors in this world can treat the gross body, but the subtle shortcomings in the form of anger and pride and jealousy can be even witnessed, what to speak of treated. So imagine if there is a doctor who can give us mukti, can give us liberation in such a way that all of this is treated. Gross and subtle problems are treated. And we will never again take another birth in another mother's womb, which means we are liberated. And he does all of this free of cost. How grateful will we be to that doctor? And now imagine if there is someone who pulls us out of this body, and says, I can give you Vaikuntha. You don't have to do anything. I will not just protect you from problems of this body. I will not just protect you from taking another birth. I will give you liberation. I will give you mukti. You don't even have to look into the direction of this material world. And I will institute you and reinstate you back into the service of Lakshmi Narayana in Vaikuntha. And all of this free of cost. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. I will just give you because I have affection for you. Imagine if an acharya comes and says that. Oh, we will be so grateful. We will sell our life to that acharya. Now imagine if there is an acharya who says, I will give you something even higher than Vaikuntha. I will give you Goloka Vrindavan. And for that, you don't even have to go into the forest like Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj and eat leaves and fruits and be on water and just on breathing, standing on one leg with your hands raised above your head. You don't have to do any of that. You can just be at home, and I will give you the eternal realm of Goloka Vrindavan, completely free, with no conditions apply, with no asterisks attached. There's no strings attached. I will give you this realm of Vrindavan. Imagine if an acharya says that, and you don't have to do anything. So how grateful will we be? And how eager will we be to find such a master who's ready to give that? But we have to note, in Goloka Vrindavan also, there are different rasas which are tasted, and there are different relationships. So one relationship is called Dasya Rati, where we have servitude towards Krishna. And even higher than that, we have friendship towards Krishna. And even higher than that, we have maternal love for Krishna. So there's Dasya Rati, there's Sakhya Rati, there's Vatsalya Rati. So we can go to Goloka Vrindavan either in the mood of being a servant of Krishna, or even higher in the mood of being a friend to Krishna, even higher in the mood of being parent to Sri Krishna. But higher than all of these rasas tasted is the mood of serving Radha and Krishna together in a feminine form in Madhurya Rasa, as all of our acharyas in Gopi Bhav. Imagine if there is an acharya who says, I will pull you from the realm of Kali Yuga in the material world, where you have toothache and headache and stomach pain and broken hands and broken legs. I will cure your bodily problems, gross problems, subtle problems. I will protect you from repeated birth and death. I will pull you out of the cycle of contamination. I will liberate you, and not just liberate you and give you some peace in Brahma Jyoti, but reinstate you in loving service, but not in Vaikuntha, not in Ayodhya, not in Dwaraka, not in Mathura, but in Goloka Vrindavan. And that too in Goloka Vrindavan, I will give you not in Dasya Bhav or Sakhya Bhav or Vatsalya Bhav, but I will push you into the groves of Radha and Krishna, where you can serve both of them in a feminine form. And for this, you don't have to do anything. All that you have to do is you have to do what you like to do, which is to sing, to dance, and to eat. So you have to simply sing the names of Krishna, dance in the assembly of devotees, and accept Bhagavat Prasad, honor Mahaprasad. If you do what you like to do, which means sing, dance to the holy names of Krishna and honor Krishna Prasad, then I will promise you a spot in the pleasure groves, in the gardens of Vrindavan, in a feminine form to serve Radha and Krishna. Imagine if an acharya promises that. We can't find anyone more merciful than that. This is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, dear Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. This is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the pride, the positive spiritual pride of being a Gaudiya Vaishnava. That I am, by some inconceivable good fortune, without any austerity, without going through any hardship of giving charity, of studying through so many scriptures, of performing the austerity of sitting amidst 8 fire flames in the middle of a summer afternoon, or being drenched and submerged neck deep in ice cold water in the middle of a winter night, without being austere and living in the Himalayas, while living as a grihastha in the metropolitan city at home and chanting and dancing and honoring Krishna Prasad, I have the audacity of imagining that I will reach the realm of Vrindavan and serve Radha and Krishna in the groves of Vrindavan. How is that even possible? Well, it's not possible by our endeavor, but it's possible when we are transcendently airlifted by this wonderful helicopter called as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When the car wants to go on his own, he will face traffic. But when he's airlifted, he can travel long distance without any struggle. So we as cars, if we try to move on the basis of our sadhana, then we will meet some speed breakers and speed limit and traffic lights and traffic problems and population explosion and pollution and road rage and whatnot. Taking a wrong exit, all of these problems. But if we pray to be airlifted by the most merciful Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we will achieve what we can't desire or we can't even deserve. In our wildest, rarest dreams, that we will see Radha and Krishna with our eyes, and not just see them, but offer service to them in the beautiful, wonderful groves of Vrindavan. This is possible by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is why Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Daya kara hai vichar. Think about the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then when you sit in seclusion and think, vichar kaile chitte tumi pabe chamatkar. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, you will be astounded. You will be astonished how merciful Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is on sincere deliberation and contemplation. This is why Srila Rupa Goswami says, Namo Mahavadanyaya. My Lord, all incarnations are Vadanya. Because they come in this world, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Rama, Balarama, Buddha, Kalki, they all come in this world, perform pastimes, attract our heart, and then they purify us. But there's no one who thinks of giving us the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Narasimhadev comes in this world. He rips apart our problems and removes the heart of pride and anger and throws it away and purifies us. But did Narasimhadev come in this world to give the love of Radha and Krishna? This is the question. I'm not asking this question. This question is asked by Prabodhananda Saraswati in Chaitanya Chandramritam. He says, Narasimhadev came in this world, but did he offer Braja Prem? Ramachandra came in this world, but did he offer Vraja Prem, love of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan? Sri Krishna came in this world, but did he offer Vraja Prem? Oh, it is only Sri Shachinandan Gaura Hari who came in this world, not as Vadanya, but Mahavadanya, as the most merciful. He comes in this world to give the love of Radha and Krishna very freely. Also, the word Mahavadanya is very important because Vadanya is Krishna, merciful. But Radhika, Radharani is Mahabhava Swarupatvam, Krishna Prema Variyasi, Prema Bhakti Pradedevi, Radhiketvam Namamyaham. Radharani is called Mahabhava Swarupini. She is the abode of Mahabhav or Krishna Prem. So Krishna is Vadanya and Radharani is Mahabhava Swarupini. So take Maha from Mahabhava Swarupini and take Vadanya from Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Radha Krishna combination. So Maha from Mahabhava Swarupini and Vadanya from Krishna come together, and Mahaprabhu is not Vadanya, he's not Maha, but he's Mahavadanya because he's non-different from Radha and Krishna. So Rupa Goswami Pad says, oh Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Namo Mahavadanyaya, you are most kind and merciful. Why? Ask Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu said, I am most merciful. Why am I most merciful? Krishna Prema Pradayate. Oh, because you have come to give Krishna Prema. Then Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami. So this whole line actually is a conversation between Rupa Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Rupa Goswami Pad said, Namo Mahavadanyaya. Oh, I bow down to the most merciful. Then Mahaprabhu said, I am most merciful. Why am I most merciful? Because Krishna Prema Pradayate. Because you came to give Krishna Prema. Mahaprabhu said, Krishna Prema? But only Krishna can give Krishna Prema. How can I give Krishna Prema? To which Rupa Goswami said, Krishnaya. Oh, actually you're Krishna. You are Krishna. Therefore you can give. Mahaprabhu said, no, I am not Krishna. My name is not Krishna. Rupa Goswami said, yes, your name is not Krishna because your name is Krishna Chaitanya. So Krishnaya, Krishna Chaitanya, Namne. That's your name. But then at that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, but if I am Krishna, Krishna's complexion is bluish black, like a rain-filled monsoon cloud. But I am not dark complexion. Gauratvishaya Namaha. Oh, but you're fair complexioned. You are Krishna. Your name is Krishna Chaitanya. And you're in a golden complexion. So Mahaprabhu's name is Krishna Chaitanya. He is called Krishna Chaitanya because that was his sannyas name. But at the same time, dear devotees, the name Krishna Chaitanya is very deep and very profound. Because the word Chaitanya means consciousness. And Krishna means Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna conscious. Krishna Chaitanya. He is completely, his consciousness is filled with Krishna. So he who is completely conscious of Krishna, which means he knows everything about Krishna, and at the same time, he in whose consciousness there's only Krishna, is Krishna conscious. He's Krishna Chaitanya. He's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Namne Gauratvishya Namah. So next time when we chant this verse, it's a beautiful meditation. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishya Namah. So Narottam Das Thakur in the song that we sung, he's saying, you're most kind and merciful. Then Rupa Goswami is saying, you're very kind and merciful. And now Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, you're very kind and merciful. Therefore, dear devotees, in the age of Kali Yuga, it is of utmost importance that we take shelter of these two brothers, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, the worshipable Siksha Gurudev of Thakur Bhakti Vinod Mahashai. Gaura Avirbhava Bhumistvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarva Bhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj has been described as the most powerful Acharya on the planet. Vaishnava Sarva Bhauma. He's the king of all Vaishnavas. He lived for 144 years. Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, the guru of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He lived for 144 years and he saw a generation of himself, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Jagannath Das, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and our Prabhupada. All five acharyas were on the planet during Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj's manifest presence. Because from mid-1700s or mid-1800s onwards, he was manifest in this world. And Sri Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada appeared in 1896. So you can see a very nice overlap of all five acharyas on the planet. And it has been described unanimously that he was the most elevated acharya in Navadvip and in Vrindavan put together. And that Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj gives an advice to all of us. He says that in the country that you live, that government is what you should respect. Like if someone is living in India, if he doesn't respect the Indian government, what is the use, right? So we should take shelter of the king in whose kingdom we live. So if we are living in a kingdom called Kali Yuga, then our king becomes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we cannot disrespect Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and try to gain Krishna Prem. So therefore, it is of utmost importance that we take shelter of Shachinandan Gaurahari. And look at our time period now. We are exactly between Nityanand Trayodashi and Gaur Purnima. So Nitai's appearance has already taken place and Mahaprabhu is yet to appear. So during this phase, this is a very interesting phase. Just like you will find in the time of June, July, August, there is Balaram Purnima, and then after that there is Krishna Janmashtami. So in the middle portion between Baladev Purnima, appearance of Balaram, and the appearance of Krishna in Janmashtami, in Vrindavan it's a festival because you're speaking about Balaram and Shri Krishna. So similarly for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, between Nityanand Trayadashi and Gaur Purnima is a time to celebrate the glories of Nitai and Chaitanya, both. This is why Lochan Das Thakur has said, Parama Karuna Pahudoi jana nitai Gaurachandra Shabhay avatara Sharashira mani Kebala ananda kanda Kebala ananda kanda Kebala ananda kanda. That take shelter of these two brothers. They are most merciful, said Lochan Das Thakur. Now, I am at the moment in Atlanta, Georgia, in America. When Srila Prabhupada came here, when our beloved Acharya Srila Prabhupada came here, he looked at Gaur Nitai, because our temple is Gaur Nitai Pradhan. We have Radha Madan Mohan, we have Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, but in the middle we have Gaur Nitai. So when Srila Prabhupada came here and he looked at Gaur Nitai, he sang this song, Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra, and Srila Prabhupada, on record, dear devotees, you can check for yourself, on record, Srila Prabhupada choked up in emotion. He was stunned with ecstasy looking at the beauty of Gaur Nitai. And Prabhupada said, Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is wonderfully merciful and kind. And please take shelter of him. Prabhupada said, and he started weeping. So even in the transcript of that class, if you see, ... weeping and sobbing. Prabhupada just broke down on the Vyasasan, thinking of how Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda have manifested themselves out of Navadvip Dham and found their place even on the altar in Atlanta. This is only the kindness of Chaitanya and Nityananda. This is why Prabodhananda Saraswati has said, Premna namad bhutartha shravana patagata kasya namno mahimno ko veta kasya vrinda vana vipina mahamadhurishu praveshah ko va janati radham paramarasa chamatkara madhurya simam ekas chaitanya chandra parama karunaya sarvama vishchakaraha. Prabodhananda Saraswati has said in Chaitanya Chandramrita that Premna namad bhutartha shravana pathagata kasya namno mahimna, which means he's asking three questions. First question, who would have thought and who would have heard of these four syllables, Krishna Prema? Everybody has heard about mukti. They have heard about going to God and bribing him to get what we want. But who has heard about this concept of loving God selflessly for his pleasure? Said nobody had heard these four syllables, Krishna Prema. And what to speak of achieving it? How can you achieve something that you don't know? And what to speak of achieving it in the most simple way, by sitting at home and just chanting the holy names of Krishna. Can't get that simple. Like to get mukti, Dhruva Maharaj, in fact, not to get mukti, to get a palace greater than his father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, Dhruva Maharaj went in the middle of the forest at the age of 5 and stood on one leg with his hands raised, only eating fruits and leaves and roots and drinking water and sipping in some air, for getting a palace bigger than the grandfather. As a mercy from Vishnu, he did so much austerity. Who can think that just by sitting at home and chanting the names of Krishna, you will get something a billion times higher, that is Krishna Prem? Prabodhananda Saraswati said nobody ever thought. But this first question was benedicted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He gave it. Second question, Ko veta kasya vrindavana vipina mahamadhurishu praveshaha? Who would have heard about Vrindavan? First question, 4 syllables, Krishna Prema. But second question, only 3 syllables, Vrindavan. Who would have heard about Vrindavan? And what to speak of hearing Vrindavan? Who would have thought you can visit Vrindavan? And not visiting Vrindavan, who could have thought you can transport yourself to the eternal realm of Vrindavan and perform seva there in a spiritual form? Who could have thought? It was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who revealed Vrindavan to the whole world. Second question. Third question. After 4 syllables and 3 syllables, now 2 syllables. Kova janati radha. Kova janati radham paramarasa chamatkarya madhurya simam. Prabodhananda Saraswati said everybody was busy doing Krishna seva, worshipping Krishna. Everybody was busy worshipping puja, giving puja to the deity of Krishna. But no one realized The key to open the lock of Krishna's heart is the two-syllable Radha. Gokulananda's heart melts by Radha. Therefore, Radha Gokulananda. Madhava's heart melts with Radha. Therefore, Radha Madhava. Shyam Sundar's heart melts with Radha. Therefore, Radha Shyam Sundar. So the whole world is busy chanting Krishna's name, trying to get Krishna's mercy. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, wait a minute, that's like trying to break open the lock. When you have a key, why do you want to break it? The key is worshipping Srimati Radharani. Therefore, ko va janati radham paramarasa chamatkara madhurya simam. Who would have heard about Radhanam, the name of Radharani, the form of Radharani, the qualities of Radharani, the pastimes of Radharani? Radha Tattva was hidden in this world. It was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who revealed Radha Tattva to the whole world. Jaidev Goswami appeared 500 years before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he was again little cautious while writing about Radharani. But he kept it for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Madhvacharya, Sripad Ramanujacharya, Jagat Guru Adi Shankaracharya, Srila Sridhar Swami, Jaidev Goswami, Bilva Mangala Thakur. They were all little sensitive about writing about Srimati Radharani. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Radharani herself, came and started speaking about Radha Tattva. This is how Jadi Gauranga no hoito, Tabeki hoito, Kemone Dori Tamde, Radhara Mahima, Prema Rasosima, Jagato Janatoke. Who would have known about Srimati Radharani if Shachinandan Gaura Hari wouldn't have given? Therefore, Prabodhananda Saraswati asked these questions, 3 questions. Who would have thought Krishna Prem can be achieved just by sitting at home and chanting? Who would have thought that the realm of Vrindavan cannot just be visited, but you can reside there in the spiritual abode with no traffic and no pollution coming from Noida and Ghaziabad and Gurgaon and Delhi, in the eternal realm of Vrindavan? Who would have thought that the tattva of Radhanam, Radharani, will appear in this world and give herself freely? Ekas Chaitanya Chandra Parama Karunaya Sarvam Avishchakaraha. Prabodhananda Saraswati says it is only the one and only Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who decided to appear and flood this world with nectar in the age of Kali Yuga. Not that we prayed, please come, please come. We don't even know. We don't deserve and we don't desire. And he comes and says, well, anyway, take it. But I don't want it. You don't want it at this point, but you actually need it. Take it. Oh, but I don't have faith. No problem. I will give you faith. Oh, but I am not interested. Don't worry, you will develop interest. But I don't want it. Then Mahaprabhu holds by the neck and embraces the jiva, and the person starts fainting and horripilating and faltering in love of God and saying, please give it to me, please give it to me, please give it to me. And then Mahaprabhu forces Krishna Prem into the heart of the living being. This is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But for us to develop love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how can you develop love for someone that we have not seen? How is it possible? All through this discussion, we are saying he is very kind and merciful and he's ready to give Krishna Prem. Just go and ask him. But for me to have affection for him, I must see him. In this world, only when you see something or someone, you have develop affection. But then from the story of Rukmini, we know that even if you don't see Krishna, what did Rukmini Devi do? She just heard about Krishna from the qualified Brahmanas. And she wrote a letter to Krishna that I am yours, please accept me. So that gives us a lot of hope. If we want affection for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if we want to be attached to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and if we complain, well, I can't see him. No problem if you can see him. It's just like Rukmini Devi. We can see, but we can hear. Which means there must be bona fide, authentic, authorized sources that we should be able to hear from. And dear devotees, of all the biographies of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Caitanya Caritamrita of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is the most authentic, authorized, bona fide biography, by reading which, by hearing which, we will fall in love with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that comes to the title of our discussion: to read, to live, and to distribute this nectar of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, so that we get affectionately embraced by Mahaprabhu, and we let Mahaprabhu embrace the whole world through this Chaitanya Charitamrita. By reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, by hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita, we will fall in love with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I will tell you something very interesting. Very, very interesting and very sweet. My Guru Maharaj, Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj, when he started reading Prabhupada's books, he had read Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, which is a portion of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. But at that time, we didn't have internet. So you can see Srila Prabhupada. There were not pictures of Prabhupada in the book. So he had read Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. He had read Chaitanya Charitamrita. But he had never seen Srila Prabhupada. So he walked into the ISKCON temple. And there was one old devotee sitting on the chair in the entrance of the temple. So my Guru Maharaj asked that elderly devotee, elderly gentleman on the chair at the entrance of the temple, that I want to meet A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So this devotee said, why do you want to see A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada? So my Guru Maharaj said, oh, because I have accepted him as my Guru. Therefore, I want to take darshan. So this ISKCON devotee said, you have accepted him as your Guru? But why would you accept him as your Guru? Have you even seen him? He said, no, I have never seen him. I don't know how he looks. Then why did you accept him as Guru? Why did you accept him as Guru? As the devotee, ISKCON devotee. So my Guru Maharaj said, because he's a devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is a devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, I want to accept him as Guru. So this elderly ISKCON devotee said, what if he's a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Like how does that even answer my question? Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So my Guru Maharaj said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none different from Radha and Krishna. So this elderly ISKCON devotee said, well, that's just a hoax. That's all not true. That's just a Gaudiya Vaishnava twist to the story. It's not true. So Guru Maharaj said, no, I will give you some praman. I will give you some proofs. And then he quoted series of Vedic evidences about the identity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this ISKCON devotee said, oh, well, that's all fine, but I don't think that's true. So it's just blind faith. So my Guru Maharaj started getting a little angry. He said, no, you're not having faith in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What are you doing in ISKCON? He asked him. So this devotee said, well, I am also trying to do some service, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not God anyway. So my Guru Maharaj got so angry. He said, you keep quiet. You don't know anything. Did you read Chaitanya Charitamrita? Have you read Prabhupada's books? Have you read Teachings of Lord Chaitanya? Have you read Adi Leela of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Prabhupada's translation to Chaitanya Charitamrita? You have not read. That's why you're faithless. You don't know. So you listen to me. I have read Prabhupada's books. And as Srila Guru Maharaj was speaking like this, very emphatically to this ISKCON devotee, some non-Indian background devotees, young brahmacharis, they came and they offered obeisances to this elderly gentleman on the chair. And Srila Guru Maharaj was looking why they are offering obeisances to this ISKCON devotee. They asked, Srila Guru Maharaj asked these American devotees, these brahmacharis, that who is this? Why you're offering? Oh, you don't know? This is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada on the chair. So Srila Guru Maharaj fell flat on the ground offering obeisances and said, oh, Gurudev, please forgive me. You're my spiritual master. And how dare I speak like this to you? And Srila Prabhupada was slapping his thigh and laughing loudly. And he said, Srila Prabhupada started speaking to all those brahmacharis. I really like him. He is trying to even defeat me on the basis of my books. This is what I want. This is what I want. I tried to challenge him and test him, but he's so convinced about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's identity that he's quoting my books as proof. He has read it so well, and he's trying to defeat me. I really like it. I really like it. And then Srila Guru Maharaj was offered initiation by Srila Prabhupada. And even on the day of initiation, Srila Guru Maharaj came ahead to accept the beads, and he was very, very embarrassed. He was looking, he said, please forgive me, O Guru Maharaj. I have been so rude to you. Please kindly forgive me. And Srila Prabhupada again on the mic announced the whole incident that happened. And he said, I really like him. This is how you should be. Even if I say something apart from other than my books, you should use my book to convince me. And in this way, Srila Guru Maharaj was given the instruction of speaking about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Bhagavatam. So this was the heart of Srila Prabhupada. He loved Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He loved Chaitanya Charitamrita. Even Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, whose 25th Viraha Mahotsav, Tirobhav, disappearance tithi was recently celebrated by Sripad Madhavananda Prabhu. Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, a very beloved disciple of Srila Prabhupada, when he left home and he went everywhere, he went to the Himalayas, he went to different ashrams to find a bona fide guru. Then after being cheated or after being disappointed in different ashrams, he decided, finally, I will go to Vrindavan and I will try to find Krishna there. But he had three conditions. Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj in his mind, because he came from a Gaudiya Vaishnava family in Odisha, in Gadaigiri. They are born in a Gaudiya Vaishnava family. And Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj's family has been into the Shamananda Parivar Kirtan style. They're all Kirtankars. So in his mind, he had three conditions to find a bona fide guru. He said the guru should be someone who speaks about Srimad Bhagavatam. My Gurudev should be someone who speaks about the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. My Gurudev should be someone, the third point, who's completely surrendered to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when he came to Vrindavan, he found a Back to Godhead magazine. And on the back side of the Back to Godhead magazine, there was Srimad Bhagavatam picture. On the front side of Back to Godhead magazine, there was the Hare Krishna Mahamantra written. And when the Back to Godhead was opened, on the page that he opened, there was a big painting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So all the three things that Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj was searching for was found in the Back to Godhead magazine. And then with that address, he went and took darshan of Srila Prabhupada as the most powerful representative of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So dear devotees, we in Kali Yuga, we in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, now stand a chance in this human form to approach the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and beg for Krishna Prem from him. And we can approach him by following his instructions. Gaura Rami mukhe bolele nahi chale. Just by saying, I am Gaudiya Vaishnava, I am Gaudiya Vaishnava, mukhe bolele nahi chale. Just by saying that through the lips, it will not work. Gaurar Achar, Gaurar Vichar, ei pholo phole. Only by the following the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will the fruit of love of God open. So how do we know the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? How do we fall in love, in attachment and service to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? How do we know the mood of the devotees and the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? It is only by reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Adi Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita gives the philosophical conclusion. The Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita gives the beautiful Leela Katha. And the Anta Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita gives the ultimate essence of all bhakti. In Anta Leela, Mahaprabhu is swimming and swooning in love of Godhead. So therefore, in Adi Leela, there is Sambandha, how to associate with Mahaprabhu. In Madhya Leela, there is Avidheya, how to perform bhakti. And in Anta Leela, there is Prayojan, the ultimate goal, which is love of Godhead. So by reading and hearing and studying Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita very sincerely, every single day. One time I asked one of my Siksha gurus questions about Shastra. And I asked him about different books. And he said, yes, this must be read. Then this must be read. So he was giving an order that this must be read. Oh, then this must be read. Then this must be read. Then I asked him, Chaitanya Charitamrita? He chuckled and he said, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the question doesn't rise because Chaitanya Charitamrita must be read every day. He said, if you're a Gaudiya Vaishnava, your day should start and end with Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he quoted how Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, would be so attracted to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that he would read the Bengali verses of Kaviraj Goswami's magnum opus, Chaitanya Charitamrita, whenever he had free time. Our Prabhupada, in the final conclusive pages of the Anta Leela, after finishing the whole commentary to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Prabhupada writes there, today I feel a lot of separation from my Guru Maharaj, because he always desired that the Chaitanya Charitamrita should be translated in the English language so that the whole world can read. And today, when it is actually ready to be gifted to the whole world, I am feeling a lot of separation from the physical presence of my Guru Maharaj. I wish I could gift it in his hand and seek his blessings. Prabhupada writes there that I am feeling a lot of separation from my Guru Maharaj today. So Saraswati Thakur loved Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhaktivinoda Thakur loved Chaitanya Charitamrita, and our Prabhupada, he paused the translation of Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto to start the translation of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's interesting. Prabhupada could have gone on to finish the commentaries on the 10th canto, but Prabhupada left this world in the middle of the 13th chapter of the 10th canto. He didn't even come up to the Raspanchadhyay. Why? Because Prabhupada paused the translation of Srimad Bhagavatam to give the translation of Chaitanya Charitamrita to the whole world. So Prabhupada put Chaitanya Charitamrita over Srimad Bhagavatam because he realized there was no authentic Gaudiya Vaishnava English translation to the whole world to benefit from for this work of Kaviraj Goswami. So therefore, dear devotees, we must read this Chaitanya Charitamrita. There is no option. If we call ourselves Gaudiyas with Tilak and Kanchimala, if we are putting on a Gaudiya Tilak, then Chaitanya Charitamrita should become our pran. Chaitanya Charitamrita nitya karo sanga, tathapi janiya siddhanta samudra taranga. Chaitanya Charitamrita nitya karo pan, jaha hoite premananda bhakti tattva gyan, jao bhagavata pado vaishnavero sthane, ekanta ashraya karo Chaitanya charane. Shruyatam shruyatam nityam giyatam giyatam muda, chintyatam chintyatam bhaktas Chaitanya Charitamritam. So many beautiful verses are there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, glorifying Chaitanya Charitamrita. Even Narottam Das Thakur has said, Gaurangero madhur lila jar karne praveshila hriday nirmal bhelotar. Just by hearing about Mahaprabhu, the heart will be cleansed. So therefore we must read. And the natural effect of reading is not just having knowledge in the head, but to live it in our heart. We must study how the Vaishnava relationships are in Chaitanya Charitamrita, how the nature of conversations are in Chaitanya Charitamrita, what is the nature of activities to be performed, that is serving the Vaishnavas, chanting the holy name, and activities not to be performed. We should not be like Gopal Chapal, we should not be like Gopal Chakrabarti, we should not be like Chota Haridas. So Chaitanya Charitamrita teaches us not theory, but practical. How to live, what to do, what not to do. So step one, we should read. Step two, we should live it. And when we live it, the natural effect is happiness. And then comes a desire. What I am tasting, I wish he can also taste. What I am tasting, I wish he can also taste. And that is the level of distribution. There is one level to distribute the books, which is wonderful. But if someone asks a question to the distributor, what is this book about? It will pinch in the heart that I am distributing, but I don't have time to read myself. So therefore, this title is very apt. Read, live, and distribute Chaitanya Charitamrita. When we read, we get direction. When we live, we get realization. And when we distribute, we get empowerment. We want everybody to taste this process. This is the process of compassion, but compassion starts with charity begins at home. Yes, distributing Chaitanya Charitamrita is an act of compassion, but where should that compassion start? It should first start with ourselves. I should taste the mango fruit so that I can speak about the mango, so that I will feel inspired to give the mango. Imagine if I am busy chewing neem leaves and I give out the mango, the other person will taste it, but I still don't have time to taste it. But instead, when you taste the mango, it is so tasty that you want people who are dear to you to also taste what you are tasting. For that, we have to read. And after reading, we have to live. And as we read and live, we have to distribute. So therefore, holding a blade of grass clasped between my teeth, expressing utter humility and submission to all of you. As the conclusion of this call, I beg all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis on this call to kindly participate and be empowered in this mission of reading, of living, and distributing Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thank you everyone for kindly participating. My special gratitude to everyone from the Bhaktivedanta Manor. My special gratitude to Divyanam Prabhu for kindly reaching out to me. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Thank you so much, Amarendra Prabhu. That was really, really very, very nice. Thank you. So, dear devotees, I would onto the chat button, and you can share your questions directly there. And I will read the questions out to Prabhuji for the next 10-15 minutes while we are here with us. And please stay tuned because we have a very short presentation after that on the practical aspect of how wonderfully Prabhuji concluded that now that we've actually had the pleasure of hearing from him, having the appreciation of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and now we can live and try to distribute that with others. And Vrindavan Chand Prabhu will share some practical ways of how easily we have made this literature available, which was originally written. It was so difficult to find the papers to write any literature for that matter. But we have not only the English print, but many other languages available in UK. And if you're dialing in from other parts of the country and still have a desire to perfect your life by perfecting this cycle of reading, living, and distributing, you can still watch the presentation and apply the same principles, or reach out to us and we can share or connect you with the local representatives, because it's a worldwide international society of Krishna consciousness. So it's a great opportunity where we can do things together and come together, and we'll be very happy to share those resources with all of you. So on that note, if anybody has any questions, then please share it, or any reflections or realizations you may have from the session. I will also read that out to Prabhuji. So we have Bhagwati Mataji who's saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Thank you, Amarendra Prabhu, for such a thought-provoking session. Danvat Pranam. We have Mahalakshmi Mataji who's asking a question, Prabhu. What is the qualification for worshipping God Nitai deities at home? How can we be recipients of their mercy?
What is the qualification? We will never be qualified. We will never be qualified to approach Radharani. But the only qualification is genuine desire. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati kiyatam yadi kutopi labhyate tatra laulyam api mulyam ekalam koti janma sukritir na labhyate. Ramananda Rai described that the only price needed to approach Radha and Krishna is genuine greed. Greed means hunger, that I want upliftment, I want mercy, I want to make advancement. But if you have this desire, then go. Now, oh, I am filled with anarthas, oh, I have had a bad past, I have been very sinful. Oh, don't bring all of these things. We are all sinful. When we jump into the ocean, we will get wet. So the ocean of distress will keep us distressed. You don't have to worry. But those who want to be uplifted, you have to put your hand up. That's all. Being in Kali Yuga, having faith, Shraddhavan jan hai, Shraddhavan jan hai. Prabhu agyaye bhai mage bhiksha, bolo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, koro Krishna siksha, Krishne rasansar koro chadi anachar, jive daya Krishna naam sarva dharmasar. Nadiya godru mein nityananda mahajan, pati ache nama hato jivero karan. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, only qualification, Shraddhavan, have faith and go with the desire that I want it. For those who want the diamond, they will walk into the diamond store. Can we afford it? No. The diamond store owner is ready to give it free, but only to someone who wants to walk into the diamond store. And who will walk into the diamond store? Someone who genuinely wants the diamond. So sincere hunger, sincere greed for upliftment. That's all. No one is qualified. No one will ever be qualified. One time I had asked my Guru Maharaj something about Radha Kund. And Srila Guru Maharaj told me, so it was something about qualification, disqualification. Srila Guru Maharaj said, oh, well, nobody will ever be qualified to enter Radha Kund. No one will ever be qualified, because the level of Krishna Prem is such that nobody can go there. Whatever we do, even if we do tapasya, even if we chant 300,000 names of Krishna for the next 300,000 years, still we are not qualified to go close to Radharani. It is only when she desires to accept us can we go. And when will she do that? When will we deserve? When we start to desire. So that's the conclusion.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. That was a beautiful answer. Manjari Mataji is asking, devotees, I wanted to mention we will do our best to cover as many questions as possible. However, we are restricted with the time in this material world. I wish there was no time here, but now we are limited. So let me ask this second question from Manjari Mataji, where she's asking, Prabhu, is it, can we from another sampradaya also read, chant, and apply tilak, like from Datta Sampradaya, where we worship the Lord Dattatreya as our Guru? Kindly please help.
Well, from any sampradaya you want to approach Mahaprabhu, no problem. The perfection of any sampradaya is to get attraction towards the Supreme Lord. So if this is your calling, no problem. To approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is no patra apatra na dekhe sthana sthan, je jahan paye tahan kare premadan. There is no qualification, disqualification, restriction, prescription, or proscription. Anyone from anywhere is welcome. In Mahaprabhu's pastimes, we see atheists and drunkards like Jadai and Madhai can enter and approach him. So why not people from other sampradayas? Like Venkata Bhatt, like Vallabhacharya, even those from other Ishtadevs, like Murari Gupta, worshipping Ramachandra, Sri Vallabh or Anupam, worshipping Ramachandra, Prahlad Maharaj in the form of Haridas Thakur, whose Ishtadev is Narasimhadev. So many. So there is no, anybody can approach God. There is no problem.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hema Mataji from UK is asking, Prabhu, could you please kindly highlight a key universal application or applications of Caitanya Charitamrita distribution as a tool to non-devotees?
Well, Caitanya Charitamrita teaches how to live, teaches principles of compassion, teaches principles of happiness and cooperation and coordination with everyone, teaches how to be happy. And it is the biography of the greatest devotee of the Lord, that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if they are musically inclined, well, it talks a lot about Kirtan. If they are interested, they are foodies, well, it describes a lot of prasadam descriptions. And if they're interested how to be happy, well, reading this book will make you happy and will teach you principles how to be happy. So this is the fundamental general principle, but we also have to see case by case. How, if that person is very intellectual, then we give them the conversations of Mahaprabhu with Prakashananda Saraswati and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So we have to see what aspect of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will appeal to them.
Thank you, Prabhu. A similar question in the line, Prabhu, how should we introduce Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Orthodox Hindus who do not know about him and who don't follow Vaishnavism?
Well, Chaitanya Charitamrita may not be the immediate first step. First, we have to build some faith, because if you give, I'll give you an example. I am not, by the way, I'm not just directly translating the example to the circumstance, but I'm saying when you go to Vrindavan and if you have, let's say, your wallet, and if you see monkeys, so then you have to hide the wallet. If you keep it out, the monkey will take it. So because the monkey has no appreciation for the wallet, it's just going to bite and throw it around, create a mess. So sometimes if you give Chaitanya Charitamrita to someone who's atheistic and who's not interested, not atheistic, but someone who doesn't have faith, he may just keep it in his room or may trash it. And that's not very appropriate. We have to give it to someone who's hungry for it. We have to give Chappan Bhog to someone who's hungry. So first step would be to create some appreciation about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before we give Chaitanya Charitamrita. And that will happen by telling them how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Krishna, non-different from Ramachandra. You can tell them how Sri Ramachandra, when he was going through Dandakaranya forest, there were 16,000 sages who wanted to marry him. But Ramachandra said, well, I can marry only one person, and that is Mother Sita. But for all of you who desire this, in my next incarnation, I will marry all of you. No problem. Then when Ramachandra became Krishna, all these sages of Dandakaranya became queens of Dwaraka. And they originated in the gopis of Vrindavan. So now in this pastime, of all the gopis, Radharani was the highest because she's the source. So in Krishna Lila, Krishna developed this desire that what is the source of Radharani's devotion? And I wish I could also be a devotee and taste her mood of devotion. And then that gives the seed of Gaura avatar. So therefore, systematically, when you connect it to Krishna and connect it to Ramachandra, then it makes perfect sense. So we have to systematically, it won't be a one-day effort. We have to see where they are, how much faith they have, what are the roadblocks in their heart. Is it some misunderstandings about Mahaprabhu? Is it some misconceptions, something that they have heard from other places which is not authentic? So we have to do some groundbreaking work at that time to sit with them, talk to them, what their concerns are. And then once that appreciative seed of devotion to Mahaprabhu just started to sprout, then we give Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I think that's the way to go. Even if someone is an Orthodox Hindu, they believe in Ramachandra, they believe in Krishna. So you can connect them as either you can connect Mahaprabhu with respect to Ramachandra and Krishna as Bhagavan, or another way, if they don't believe in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Bhagavan, no problem. Just tell them Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the best devotee of Krishna. That's not wrong again, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radharani, and Radharani is the best devotee. So either you can introduce Mahaprabhu as Krishna, through Ram, through Krishna, as God, or you can introduce Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Radharani, as the best devotee of Krishna. Just tell them this is the biography of the best devotee of Krishna who ever existed, whom all the acharyas bow down to and appreciate and glorify. So I hope you read this book and you have a wonderful experience. In this way, we connect using practical common sense.
Thank you, Prabhu. I really liked this answer, actually. Having Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the form which can be appreciated both for Srimati Radharani and Krishna. So it makes it even more intelligently interesting to be able to present to the readers or people, those who have some faith in Mahaprabhu. Thank you. Mitali Mataji is thanking you for the class. Sham Prabhu is saying, Amarendra Prabhu, you are a genius. You have been specially sent by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to uplift us. Aparna Mata.
Well, I'll just quickly respond to that.
Yes,
the electric bulb may flicker for some time, but it's not the glory of the electric bulb. It's the glory of the electric current or the electricity which goes through the bulb. So we are all bulbs. We are all bulbs of the same watt power, all of us. And when we let the electricity of our parampara go through us, then we flicker for some time. But that light is not the bulb's light, because the bulb must remember that he can go fuse any point. So our parampara is a genius. They are sent by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Aparna, Mataji, Topaji, and Rishabh, they're saying, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. It's really amazing that we got an opportunity to listen through Zoom, because I always listen and follow you on YouTube, but really can't imagine you are with us in London. Thanks a lot, Prabhu, and thanks for enlightening us with Chaitanya Prem. Thank you. Shavita Mataji is saying, thank you so much, Prabhu. It's what is the best pastime of Lord Chaitanya which we can meditate during japa?
Sundara Lala Shachi Dulala Nachata Shri Hari Kirtaname. Chaitanya Maha, you can imagine Shri Nimai, little, beautiful, wonderful Nimai, as a golden cotton ball. Sundara Lala, he's so beautiful. Shachira Dulala, the son of Shachimata. Nachata Shri Hari Kirtaname. You can think that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a baby is crying. According to Chaitanya Bhagavat, Mahaprabhu as a baby used to cry. And only when people would come together and say, Hari, 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 will he start smiling. And when he smiles, he used to start dancing. So we should think that if I stop my chanting, then Mahaprabhu is going to cry. So to make him stop crying and start dancing, I have to chant Hare Krishna. If I chant Hare Krishna, to the extent I chant Hare Krishna 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, so many hours, on the lap of Shachi Mata, our Shachi Nandan is dancing as a little child on the banks of Ganga. Bhale Chandana Tilaka Manohar Alaka Sushobhita Kapolaname. That as he is dancing, Bhale Chandana, there is tilak on his forehead. And Tilaka Manohar, very beautiful, very fragrant forehead. And locks of soft black hair are coming on his face as he's dancing. This baby Nimai. So this could be a wonderful meditation. In this way, we will chant attentively because we don't want Shachinandan to cry as a child.
Thank you, Prabhu. We'll take probably a couple more. Tanvi Mataji is saying, Prabhu, why is there evil things and bad things in the world? When Krishna is there, why is there anything bad that is created? If Krishna wants us to be happy, why is there even badness or sadness?
For that, you have to go through a journey of self-discovery course organized by the Bhaktivedanta Manor. You have to perform the journey of self-discovery course, where all of these questions will be answered systematically through PowerPoint presentations.
Thank you, Prabhu. I have a very nice question from Aman Prabhu, who's saying, can we worship Caitanya Charitamrita because I don't have my deities and nearby there is no ISKCON temple?
We worship Chaitanya Charitamrita by reading. We worship Giriraj Govardhan by circumambulation. We worship Tulsi Devi by watering. We worship Gurudev by following instructions. We worship Thakurji as the deity by Gandha Pushpa, Doop Deep and Naivedya, by incense sticks, ghee lamp, flowers and tulsi leaf and bhoga. But we worship Shastra by Swadhyay.
Thank you, Prabhu. So probably take the last one, Prabhu, from Baleshwar Raman Prabhu, who's saying, thank you for the wonderful class. Fortunately, I have started reading CC just last week as nearly finishing Srimad Bhagavatam for the first time. So could you please guide the way to read CC?
Well, Sutapa Prabhu recently gave a very, 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 very beautiful, phenomenal class for the GBC strategic planning team on the systematic notes and presentation of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I would highly recommend visiting the website of the School of Bhakti and having a free download of the systematic notes of Chaitanya Charitamrita, which Sutapa Prabhu and others have put together. How to study Chaitanya Charitamrita, the order, very wonderful. I was very, very inspired by that recent presentation. So please visit the GBC SPT strategic planning YouTube link, and there Sutapa Prabhu has given a systematic overview how to study Chaitanya Charitamrita. So then you can visit the links that are given there, and there's free download.
Thank you, Prabhu. Lastly, Prabhu, here we have, I think we are now at 6:30 p.m. and I'm conscious you had another commitment, Amarendra Prabhu. Just before I invite Vrindavan Chand Prabhu to do a short presentation, I would like to express my gratitude to Amarendra Prabhu for giving us his wonderful association, and at such a time where we can really try to meditate on the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, read about him, glorify him, hear about him, so we can really welcome him with all our heart and soul on Gaur Purnima, and also utilize this opportunity in preparation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance to try and share this glorification of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the form of Chaitanya Charitamrita with many devotees to begin with, because there are many devotees who are still progressing on the path of Krishna consciousness, may not have, and also to reach out to some of the ripe fruits, as you very rightly said, who are ready. And I wanted to mention recently when I was hearing a talk from my Guru Maharaj, where he was mentioning that sometimes when you knock on people's door, there are children in ISKCON of Silicon Valley who go out when they can outside COVID, and they present Chaitanya Charitamrita to completely new people. And the way they present and relate it, that there were families, especially one example was given that the family took it, they had no idea, and they started reading. This gentleman was, he used to eat meat, and few weeks later, when it was served to him on the table, when he's been reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, he said to his wife, "Stop, I can't take this anymore." And from that day, he's a wonderful devotee now, practicing Krishna consciousness, reading other books of Prabhupada. So Mahaprabhu's power is so much infused in this wonderful literature, and especially when we hear the glorification of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from devotees like yourself and other devotees in our International Society of Krishna Consciousness, it reinstates and really infuses us with so much of enthusiasm and faith to take this process of reading Srila Prabhupada books with such sincerity and distributing it with even more higher sincerity as much as possible. So thank you so much, Amarendra Prabhu, for being with us. I launched for a day where I can be physically present in your association. So some of this energy gets vibrated or rubbed onto me, but very much it has happened today in your association, and I'm sure for everybody else. So on behalf of School of Bhakti, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank Guru Shakti Mataji, who coordinates our monthly Sankirtan festival, for arranging this one. So any concluding words from your side, or blessings or prayers for us, so we can take this message of Gauravani and share with others, Prabhu?
My concluding message would be, please all of you pray for me, so that all these this blabbering that I did for the last 60 minutes, I am able to internalize them, because I am simply speaking theoretical. I have not experienced anything. So please, all of you, the only thing I beg is, please pray for me. If I am on the verge of making a mistake, deviating from the words of Guru and Gauranga, if all of you pray, that force will help, will force Krishna to make me go in the right direction. Otherwise, on the basis of prarabdha, I will go off track. So of course, I cannot come and ask for blessings in the first minute of the class. So I have to serve all of you first, and then in reciprocation, beg for the alms that you will offer in the form of your heartfelt prayers and blessings. This is my concluding words, that may Mahaprabhu's compassion come in my life through all of you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So tomorrow we have another wonderful opportunity. His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu personally at 2:25 p.m. UK time will be sharing with us on how to present Caitanya Charitamrita to anybody and everybody. So please stay tuned. We will share the information on how you can join that session. We have His Grace Sutapa Prabhu tomorrow evening speaking in the lines again to be a Gardner on the similar topic and enlightening us. And right now I'm going to hand it over to Vrindavan Chand Prabhu, who's going to take us through a very short presentation, which will only leave you inspired further to how you can also practically present this wonderful literature to your neighbors, to your friends, to your devotee friends, and everybody. So thank you, dear devotees. Please stay tuned, and over to Vrindavan Chand Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. My obeisances to you, Amarendra Prabhu, and my gratitude for you for coming and gracing us on this occasion today. We are very grateful for your presence. So I will just take a few minutes of your time to tell you a bit about our marathon, our Gaur Purnima marathon. And I will share some slides. So, Hare Krishna. So this marathon actually has been running from the 1st of February and it'll run all the way till the 28th of March. We are starting it in earnest a bit later this year at Bhaktivedanta Manor, but there's a saying, better late than never. And we are going to go on a sprint. So Srila Prabhupada has expressed his desire for all of his followers. Srila Prabhupada said, I want that every respectable person has a full set of Bhagavatam and Caitanya Charitamrita in his home. It's the duty of the follower to fulfill the desires of the Acharya. And by doing so, that's how we attain our spiritual perfection. So in this endeavor to please Srila Prabhupada, every year before Gaur Purnima, we launch the Gaur Purnima, a book marathon to distribute sets of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we're doing this again this year. Srila Prabhupada in September 4th, 1972 in Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada gave a beautiful talk on what is the symptom of love, and I'll show you the actual video clip in a few minutes. Srila Prabhupada said, what is the symptom of love? The symptom, the prime symptom, the most important symptom of love is that the devotee wants to see that his Lord's name, fame, etc. becomes widespread. He wants to see that my Lord's name be known everywhere. This is love. If I love somebody, I want to see that his glories are spread all over the world. And Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Nacha tasmat manasyashu kaschit me priya krita maha. Anyone who preaches his glories, nobody is dearer to him than that person. So those who are followers of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who want to express and show their love for Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada has given us the means. How do we do that? We spread the name, fame, the glories of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is the words of Srila Prabhupada.
Those who are engaged 24 hours, in which way he is engaged? Bhajatam. Bhajan. Those who are engaged in devotional service. What kind of devotional service? Priti Purvakam, with love and affection. One who is engaged in devotional service of the Lord, in love and devotion. What is the symptom of love? Love. The symptom, the prime symptom, most important symptom of love is that the devotee wants to see that his Lord's name, fame, etc. become widespread. He wants to see that my Lord's name be known everywhere. This is love. If I love somebody, I want to see that his glories are spread all over the world. And Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Nacha tasmat manusyeshu kaschit me priyakirtam. Anyone who preaches his glory, nobody is dearer to him than that person. Those who are engaged.
So dear devotees, there we have it, straight from Srila Prabhupada. How do we show our love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So we want every single devotee to be engaged in this marathon. At Bhaktivedanta Manor, we have a book distribution philosophy, and that is less from more. If every devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes forward and said, I want to show my love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu this marathon by trying to distribute only one set of Sri Chaitanya Caritamrita, we will distribute so many sets. So this year's marathon, our theme is Be a Gardner. These are the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami in the Madhya Leela, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the analogy, the metaphor of the seed of bhakti, the bhakti lata bean, and how we have to treat our seed of bhakti like a gardener. So we have some distribution strategies which we'd like to share with you today, which you can all become involved in. So the first strategy is we want to target specific cultural groups. This year we have different translations. We have Bengali, we have Hindi, we have Tamil, we have Telugu, we have Gujarati sets. These cultural groups, many of them have never heard of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but here we have the cream of all Vedic literature, Sri Chaitanya Caritamrita, in these other languages. So if you are part of any of these cultural groups or you are linked to them in some way, please come forward and help us connect and reach out to them. In our last marathon, Bhadra campaign, we distribute over 350 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. And previous to that, we have distributed over 600 sets. Each of these devotees, they are ripe fruits who are just willing to take a set of Chaitanya Caritamrita, complete their library, the most beautiful library. We want to reach out to them. So if you distributed sets of Chaitanya Caritamrita to anyone last year, give them a call and say, here's the cherry on the top, Chaitanya Caritamrita. You must add this to your collection or your collection is incomplete. Universities and colleges, we have some beautiful reviews of scholars. Take that, approach universities and colleges and get them to take Caitanya Charitamrita. Our own congregation, there's so many devotees don't have sets. Approach them. We have a Idea Seeds website where we got sets of Sri Caitanya Charitamrita for sale. Please direct them to our website. We want to start a Facebook marketing campaign. If you have any knowledge or experience of marketing on Facebook, please connect with us. We have our monthly Sankirtan festivals, and we're going to do contact calling. Call your contacts. On Gaur Purnima Day, where this online festival, we're going to be trying to reach out to people. Always on Gaur Purnima, there's a special mercy that flows. Make a special effort on that day. Sutapa Prabhu is giving a course on Caitanya Charitamrita, compact, and encourage devotees or people to attend that course. And through that hearing from Sutapa Prabhu, they'll feel encouraged to take. And we have some special incentives. Whoever takes a set this year, they get the complete audiobook of Caitanya Charitamrita, so they can listen if they're not so inclined to reading. And then we're also giving a soft copy of Sutapa Prabhu's Caitanya Charitamrita compact as a gift. This year we've set a goal of 158 sets. The Sacred Street Party, a group of young devotees, they've come back and said, boldly, we want to endeavor for 108 sets. And the Gomatsya team is 50 sets. So you can connect to any of us through the various teams that we formed, and you can become involved. The Worldwide campaign has also got goals. Read and share at least one verse from Caitanya Charitamrita. If you're on social media, you can go to the Caitanya Charitamrita online at Vedabase, take a verse, and share it. There are so many nectarine verses. We'll be publishing one lecture of Srila Prabhupada on Caitanya Charitamrita over the next 21 days. Please share those lectures and listen yourself. Take an inventory of Caitanya Charitamrita sets. If you do not have one, this is the first golden rule of book distribution. You can't distribute books that you don't have. So please come and order one. Take a set from us. Keep it in your garage. Keep it in your lounge, ready to distribute. And make at least one set of Caitanya Charitamrita available on your avatar. Put your Facebook page avatar or your WhatsApp avatar. Put it as Caitanya Charitamrita. We can give you a copy, a graphic. And then we've started the monthly Sankirtan festivals. These are the languages, other languages we have. Logistics, we have a link. People can make payment very easily. They just go to the link, they make payment, the order comes through. We can courier it to them for £85. If they want to collect it at some central locations, they can have the set for £75 if they can collect it. How do you present Caitanya Charitamrita? You may be thinking, I'm eager, I'm on board. How do I present Caitanya Charitamrita? Tomorrow is this wonderful session. We're having a training session organized by ISKCON Silicon Valley and His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu. Please join this training session. I think that's about 2:30 or 25 past 2 tomorrow on Zoom. Then if you like, we can.
Just sorry, Prabhu, could you just go back? Yeah, you can take a picture of this slide because we don't have a link as yet, but you can see the ID and the password for the Zoom directly on this flyer. It's at 2:25 p.m. UK time. That is the California time, but 2:25 p.m. UK time tomorrow. So if you take a picture of this slide while Vrindavan Chand Prabhu has, the ID is here and the password is just below, which is Gardner. And you'll be able to log in and attend the training tomorrow. Go ahead.
Yes, and if any of you wants a PowerPoint slide presentation how to present Caitanya Charitamrita, come to us. We'll also develop one for you to present online. Lastly, I'd like to finish off with this beautiful quotation from the book Our Family Business by Vaisheshika Prabhu, where he quotes Srila Prabhupada. After Srila Prabhupada arrived in America in a lecture dated December 21st, 1966, he explained to his disciples the power of applying the Guru's order. If you cannot do, if you simply think, how can I do? How can I do? How can I do? Simply this, if you're practically, you cannot do. But if you simply think that, how can I do? Oh, then also you become liberated. And also you become liberated. And what to speak of when we actually serve. So even if we feel unqualified to distribute Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, if we simply think, how can we do? How can I do? How can I do? We'll be empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Guru Parampara distribute. So I'd like to stop my presentation from here and hand over to Divyanam Prabhu, who will tell us a bit more about smart boxes.
Thank you so much, Vrindavan Prabhu. So, dear devotees, apart from distributing Chaitanya Charitamrita this Gaur Purnima, which is a great idea, we are also launching for our devotees in the congregation at Bhaktivedanta Manor of distributing books in a way one cannot even imagine. It's called Smart Boxes. We trialed it over Christmas marathon with few boxes, and it was a great success. So this is a great opportunity for devotees to get involved. We have ordered certain number of boxes which we can have it available. But we have a contact, I would like you to take a picture of this flyer. Just at the bottom, you can see Radha Dasi Mataji's name and Niket Prabhu's name. If you message them directly, and if you're interested, there is a very nominal cost of £15 for each smart box, which you can take. Go to your nearest shop, build a relationship with the person. There is a box number at the bottom. You don't have to do anything. You will be sent a link once you give them your email address and where you live and the area and the shop where you're putting this box. And we will provide you the books, and the link will come to you, and you just have to update this course every 2 weeks. And we will give you the whole process of where to send the Lakshmi into the temple account, etc. All those details will be given, and we will provide the books from Bhaktivedanta Manor to you. So please, this Gaur Purnima, we would also like to try and see altogether collectively, we'd like to work towards 50 smart boxes if we can. So I would highly encourage devotees to come forward and opt by taking at least one smart box each. There are many of you here. And there are devotees from East London. They can get in touch with Ashish Prabhu, and we can coordinate it through him as well. And same is for Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. I'll be working with Ashish Prabhu from like how we have always done in the marathon. So please reach out to him for any information you need on the smart box and Chaitanya Charitamrita set. But for anybody else who's attending the call, or if you're in another part of UK, you can still get in touch with Niket Prabhu or Radha Dasi Mataji, and they can still help you with the ideas of how you can start the smart boxes where you live actually. So these are the two initiatives which we are looking to launch, and we like you all to get involved, at least by distributing one set of Chaitanya Charitamrita and having a one smart box as an offering to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu this Gaur Purnima. So with that, I would like to bring our this evening to close and like to thank all of you. If you have any questions and comments, Vrindavan Prabhu can share his contact email address and my email address, and you can reach out to us. But as I said, if you have Sangha leaders like Bhakti Vriksha, in Northwest London, it is Raksha Mataji. In East London, it is Ashish Prabhu. And for anybody else who's part of congregation, you can reach out to any one of us, and we will be very happy to help you. Or if you have any other ideas or thoughts, I want to also quickly share with you the screen for a program which is happening after the presentation of His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu. Tomorrow evening, we have Sutapa Prabhu giving a wonderful talk. And these are the details. You can copy the link. That's the link. It's at 5 to 6:30 p.m. tomorrow evening. And the Zoom link is there. So take a picture of it so you can type the Zoom link and join the call tomorrow as well in the evening after having practically gone through how to distribute Chaitanya Charitamrita. So please share this information with your friends as well, both of these, so they can also get benefit on getting a training on how to present Chaitanya Charitamrita and thereby be able to present it to others as well. So on that note, thank you, Vrindavan Prabhu, for presenting, and thank you all the devotees for tuning into this session with us. Vrindavan Prabhu, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, thank you for arranging this program, Divyanam Prabhu.
Thank you. Great. So looking forward to a wonderful campaign, and hopefully we can become Gardner in the process of distributing this Chaitanya Charitamrita for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada and all the devotees. So like to end on that. Thank you very much, devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bevacha patita nam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. You can now unmute yourself if you like, and we can all at the count of 3 say loudly Gauranga. So you can unmute yourself. At the count of 3, not yet Mataji, not yet Mataji. 1, 2, 3. Hare Krishna.